Alright, it's that time of year again where I voice my opinions on the state of Destiny 2. So, looking forward, we aren't looking too good, in my opinion. There are a lot of things I want to cover in this video, but first I want to start off with PvP. It's no secret that PvP is not in the best state currently, and I won't bitch about it too hard, but simply put, Stasis is a goddamn mess. It has turned my favorite map in the game, Endless Vale, into a competition where whoever has the most dustfill grenades on hand wins. I know most people are talking about 120 round permanent hand cannons, but I think there is a bigger outlier in the bunch, Deadman's Tale. By no means do I not want a scout rifle meta, but Deadman's Tale doesn't really act like a traditional scout rifle. It's like Crimson. The description says it's a hand cannon, but it's really a pulse rifle. Essentially, Deadman's Tale is a hand cannon, but with scout rifle range. Deadman's is crazy, and don't get me started on the bullet magnetism that is present on the weapon. I think when 120s get nerfed next season, Deadman's Tale is going to be king, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but man is the weapon hella annoying. Also, let's not forget about the quick draw nerf next season. A lot of top players have been praising the nerf, but I am here to say that the nerf is a net negative rather than a net positive. Hear me out. In Trials, one of the biggest problems is how slow it plays. Number one, Trials should have a 1 minute timer rather than a 2 minute timer. But if players have slow handling speeds on their shotguns, do you really think players are going to be more aggressive or more likely to camp? Spoilers, it's the former. Plus, the reasoning seems arbitrary for the nerf. I think Slayer Age put it best. If Bungie believes that they should remove perks that negate downsides, why not remove literally every perk in the game? Think about it. Every perk in the game negates some type of downside on some type of weapon. By the way, link is in the description to Slayer Age thread. It's a really good read. Now, let's move on to PvE. PvE is in the best state it has ever been in. However, the state of PvE is mainly attributed to Grandmaster Nightfalls and Day 1 raids. So, if Bungie really decides to stop innovating on Grandmaster Nightfalls, then PvE, in my opinion, is just another worthless outlet, part of the game, similar to Gambit when we only check it out once a year. And we aren't too far from that reality. Think about it. When was the last time Grandmaster Nightfalls received a specific tuning to the playlist, excluding tuning that is related to bugs? Now, some will point to the ever-evolving meta in PvE, when specific weapons get buffed and nerfed, but Grandmaster Nightfalls aren't really tied to weapons. You see, in Grandmasters, weapons are usually on a rotation due to champion mods. So, whatever you see one season will probably not be the strategy next season. And sometimes, Bungie decides not to include champion mods on weapons they just buffed. I seriously think Grandmaster Nightfalls will eventually foresee the same fate as Gambit if Bungie continues upon the path they are headed to. Just to name one issue that can easily be fixed with Grandmasters is the loot. For whatever reason, the hardest Grandmasters in the game reward the same amount of loot as the easiest Grandmasters. Meaning, if I do a Proving Grounds Grandmaster Nightfall, I will receive the same loot if I were to do an Arms Deal Grandmaster Nightfall. Speaking of Proving Grounds, why is it that the Vanguard receives more strikes than the Crucible receives new maps? Seriously, PvE gets new strikes every expansion and sometimes during a season, while PvP has not seen a new map since 2019. You heard that correctly, by the way, 2019. Anyways, I don't think Grandmaster Nightfalls are single-handedly holding the PvE experience together. At least not for the next season due to Vault of Glass, but I do think Grandmaster Nightfalls will start to fall to the wayside during the next expansion if Bungie does nothing to them. Lastly, I want to touch on Transmog. I won't shit on the system too hard, but why the fuck do I need to go through 3 goddamn steps before acquiring the juice that acts as currency for Transmog? It seems weird and poorly planned. Moreover, you can only apply Transmog to 20 pieces of gear during the next season, and you can bypass that cap by spending money. I know Bungie has been working on the system for months at this point, but I really think the heads at Bungie should take a political philosophy course to learn something called optics. At this point, it seems Bungie is intentionally introducing a shitty system just to remove it and claim victory because they are listening to the community.
By the way, this is a shameless plug to my Twitter.
Nevertheless, these are just my thoughts, and I thought it would be appropriate for me to speak on the issues I value the most. So, if you enjoyed this video, a subscription would be appreciated. If you did not enjoy this video, the comment section is always open to constructive criticism, and if you really dislike me, the dislike button is always there. Anyways, I'll be working on my next video in the near future. Hopefully, I won't take a 7th month break in between. See ya.